We are live with Dennis Duncan out of the great province of Alberta, Canada. And Dennis Duncan is quite a character. I've got to know him a little bit over a period of time. He was on the other side of the fence down in what they call ORPS, the wonderful world of outdoor resorts in Palm Springs. And I got to know Dennis. I looked at his trailer one time and I thought about buying it. And then I met him and I wasn't sure, but he's quite a guy. So we got along pretty well. But this last year, I've had the opportunity to go up and visit he and his farm and his family and got to know him a little better. But Dennis, here we are. You are in Alberta, Canada. I'm down in Central Oregon, and we're talking about what the world's all about, how you came from that farming community, that farming family, and how you applied those life principles to what you do today. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I think our farm started in the early 30s. Neil, we my grandfather homesteaded here. He was dried out in the prairies, and he come north to Sylvan Lake and come over the hill on his horse, and it was a beautiful green valley, the Blind Man Valley, and so that's where they homesteaded, and it was all trees. He cleared the trees with stumping powder and horses and axes, and he was a much greater man than me because I just can't imagine all the land he cleared that way. And then my dad come along and took over the farm from Grandpa, and also then I come along. So I come from a family of three brothers and a sister, and I think I, at an early age, just got the bug and the love for farming. And I would say at early, I mean like 4 or 5, I was out feeding cattle and stuff with my dad and feeding baby calves. And so it just developed through that. And at 12 years old, I was driving silage trucks and big tractors and doing all sorts of stuff like that. And that kind of evolved into at 16 years old, Dad was injured in a truck accident for a couple of years. So I had to quit school and run the farm with my mom. We had dairy cows, we had pigs, we had chickens, and we had grain land. And it was my calling. I just had a love for the land, and it was with my mom. It was a lot of hard work and long hours, but we got through, and Dad come back in a couple of years. He was out of the hospital and healthy again. But at that time, I was a full-time farmer. So I talk about the love of the land and the love of farming and growing food, and I think it takes a special love like that for farmers to be successful. And you see some come and go, but the hardcore guys, what their feelings are when it comes to the soil and growing crops and livestock. So anyways, I guess my brothers went on to other things. I stayed on the farm and grew the farm. We eventually went to 70 dairy cows and about 400 acres of land, I guess. And at that point, I guess in my early 20s, I guess it was, started an oil field trucking company. Just out of the blue, the neighbor needed some service trucks to service his oil rigs, and so started doing that on the side. It was very successful. Sold it 2 years later. Ventured into a farm machinery dealership that went for a couple of years, and unfortunately the economy went bad, and that one didn't do so well. But it taught me a lot of lessons about finance and maybe getting kicked in the butt once in a while and not being successful. So yeah, we did that, and probably from there ended up being, believe it or not, a rodeo bullfighter and rodeo clown for
Well, that's what I
several.
heard. I understand there's a little bit of background there, and I did a little research and reconnaissance on you, and I understand you met your wife at the bull ring. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, that's true. I met Lori. A bull flipped me over the boards into the stands and right into the lap of one of my good friends, and he had this new girlfriend. Her name was Lori, and so I said, "Well, hi, Merle. Who's this?" And so he introduced me to Lori, and so in the coming months of partying together with them, I was schmoozing her pretty hard, and when they broke up, I guess I zoomed in for the kill. So that was that was about 42 wonderful years ago. So
Wow. So there you were in the bull ring, and the bull flying everywhere, and you flew right into her lap. That's an
yeah,
amazing way.
yeah. So
Wow.
from there we had four beautiful daughters, Kristen, Darcy, Callie, and Shelby, and they're all the love of my life, and just vibrant, wonderful, successful women. So we feel very fortunate that they did so well and are doing well in life as mums and business people and teachers and all that they do. So yeah, we had the four kids. I did do a stint for a few years driving bus for a country music singer who was a friend of mine and a
Interesting.
neighbor. He ended up, I set up stages, I sold T-shirts and CDs and drove the bus, and he ended up being Canada's top country music performer for several years in a row. So it was kind of fun. It was a different gig, but it was fun to see him grow. And so all the time we were farming and milking cows. I did have hired employees, and I guess that ventured into 2013. Um, we sold the cows and got out of that type of thing. That was a 7 day a week, 365-day a year job. Um, so at that point, we bought a big ass motorhome and got a car behind it. And Lori informed me that we're going to Palm Springs for probably 6 weeks or longer.
Well, who
And
invited you down there anyway?
it was just we had spent many vacations with the kids down there, and just like the desert for its guaranteed warm weather and no rain. And it was just a short jump to go to Disneyland or SeaWorld down in San Diego and a number of other attractions. But ideally, it was the weather because when you had four kids, you didn't like rain very much. So,
Sure.
so we had a love for Palm Springs. So she said we're going there for 6 weeks, and I immediately crapped my drawers because uh, the best I'd done in probably 55 years was go away for 10 days on a vacation, and I just wanted to get home and sweep the shop and get back to work. I just wasn't one that could sit around and do much holiday stuff. So we ventured south in our big motorhome and went through probably your neighborhood, but it was foggy and rainy and cloudy. It
Yes, that's
wasn't that
true.
nice.
That's
Yeah, that was
true.
November. That was November of 13, and so we get down to Palm Springs, and we were booked into a campground up in Desert Hot Springs, and so they pointed this spot of sand out in the windy desert and said, "There's your spot." And I said, "Not a chance in hell. I'm going to park my motorhome there," because the sand was blowing and it just wasn't nice. So we Googled a little campsite called Oasis Campground down by the gorge in Palm Springs and settled in there for the first month and a half, I guess. And the first few weeks, Lori and I, we golfed together, we swam together, we did everything together because you didn't know anybody. And at that point, we met a young lady named Holly in the pool. And Holly says, "Oh, I know what you guys need. We were there, and I know what you need to get going." So she took us to our first happy hour where we met 12 new friends.
Hmm.
And from there, the next night we went to another happy hour and met 12 more friends. And so it really got our social side going. And it was at that point that uh, Holly's husband, Cliff, said, "You need to learn pickleball. I'll take you to pickleball tomorrow." So Lori and I went to pickleball and we're looking through the fence at there was probably 30, 40 people there playing pickleball, and this little lady come over, and she was the organizer of it all. And she come up and she says, "You want to come in and learn pickleball? I'll teach you." So we went in there, and it was my kind of game. It was like half the people were playing pickleball and half the people were visiting. So that's kind of like curling up here in Canada. It's a very social sport.
A little
So
more drinking involved.
yeah, well, that's right. So we learned pickleball, and of course most of the people were from outdoor resorts, and they rode their bikes and drove down to this park to play pickleball. And so we started going there for happy hours, and we were like, "Oh my God, this is a beautiful place." So we went with Cliff and Holly. They decided to go. They wanted to buy a lot, so we said, "Well, we'll go along." But Lori made it very clear we're not buying a lot, but we could rent. So we all looked at lots, and they picked out a lot and made an offer on it. And Lori said, "Gee, I sure like that lot with the grapefruit trees and nice spot, and it had a fountain." And so I said, "Well, we can put in a low bid, and if we don't get it, big deal." So we put in a low bid, and be damned if we didn't get it. It had been on the market for a couple of years. So at that point, it was end of season. So we were at pickleball, and some people said, "You're going to put the motorhome on it," and that's a contentious part. I found out after driving the motorhome to California, and we have semi trucks on the farm and big machinery. I didn't like motorhoming. So it was going to get sold, and they said, "Well, somebody in the pickleball here has got a trailer for sale," and it was just what we liked. So we made a deal and put the trailer on our lot, our new lot, and headed home. So that following November, when we went back, we got it all set up with furniture and the whole bit. So that started our life at ORPS Outdoor Resorts, and it has proven to be well. I guess what I'd like to add, Neil, is that that first stint learning pickleball and getting to know all these people through happy hours, I had the biggest grin on my face when we come home at Christmas, because at 55, working 12 to 16 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, my whole life, I found that retirement was going to be a hoot. So anyways, we get back there and get involved in the ORPS community. And it's just phenomenal. I mean, the friendships, meeting you guys, a whole bunch of other people, and the sports. We love golf, tennis, and pickleball, and we love hiking and biking. And so we're pretty active down there. And I tell people that we fall asleep on the lazy boys every night at 8 o'clock, exhausted, and we get up and do it again the next day. So
well, sometimes you fall asleep about the afternoon, as I recall.
Yeah, well, I do have to have my dairy farmer nap after lunch. So, and that's why I'm so good looking, is that I keep my youth having these naps.
I thought it was that stuff you put on your cheeks.
So so we really like to spread the word about ORPS. We tell people we have 200 close friends down there. And they go, "Oh, yeah, sure you do." Well, sure enough, they come and visit, and they go, "Oh my God, you do have that many." I mean, you can't go for a bike ride or a walk without somebody yelling at you to come in for a coffee or a visit or a drink or whatever. So it's just an amazing place that has a whole lot of love and friendship and exercise. Like, it's just a very great place to spend the winters. And actually, the doctor told me last year, he said that we've added 10 years to our life by living the lifestyle.
That's great.
Yeah, down there. He says, you get all that vitamin D is great. And he says the socializing aspect, besides the exercise, the socializing side of what we're doing down there is highly underrated. He said that keeps you living longer. So
it is.
So we're great place.
Great place for sure. It is indeed. It's it's fun to watch you progress in pickleball, and you're coming along, and it's always fun to see you aspire to do great things. And
well, I get in a lot of trouble down there, right from the the spandex Captain Canada outfit at the Can-Am Games to, well, you can probably name a number of things that I get in
Was your
trouble with.
leaf a little small, was it?
No, I'm not saying that. And of course, then the fun thing, I think the highlight of what I do down there is Mary Ellen, who runs Big Star. She come to me, the guy that had been doing it for like 30 years. He had decided to retire, and she comes to me. I'd done a few things at pickleball parties, and she says, "You're my new MC at Big Star Night." And I'm like, "Oh, not a chance in hell I'm doing that." Anyways, she drugged me up there, and I think I've been doing it 5 years now, and just love it. And we get some people like you that put on costumes and do really silly acts and stuff. But sure, it's a fun time. So
It is a fun time. Matter of fact, I think the first time I met you was actually up there on stage, and it was quite a time. But it's fun. We have about, I don't know, 40% of the park as Canadians or more, and it's interesting times we're dealing with. There's everything from the politics to the exchange rate to the different things we see, and it's always fun to poke your friends from the north, and they poke you from the south, and it goes
and you do
around.
that very well.
Well, we try. I just love to bring up the trophy that kind of passes between us, but you may be bringing that down again. I hope you can join us again for another tournament this coming year. So
Yeah, I thought you were going to mention that you won the trophy this last year, but it needs to be noted that we won it the year before. So
that's
we
good.
just keep
That's
that
good.
Canada-US competition spirit.
So that makes us the reigning champion. Is that
Well,
correct?
at this point, yes,
Oh,
but
okay,
it's slowly slipping away. I was looking at the trophy in the shop that you left here. I might add, Neil showed up here for a visit a few weeks ago, and he had this trophy stapled to the front of his Ford truck when he drove in the yard. So it was
well,
it was a little tough to swallow, but we got through it.
the bugs are kind of melting away
Yeah,
by now.
yeah.
Well, that's great. But Dennis, over those years, you've learned from your farming and business practices how to apply life skills to different applications. I've met your children, I've met your grandchildren, and I have to say, when I went up there, I couldn't have been more impressed by seeing your granddaughter at how old is she now? 13?
13, yeah.
13 years old. And I look out there in the middle of this huge field, and there's one person running a tractor, and she's baling the hay, and this little squirt came out of the cab of the tractor, and here she is, your granddaughter. And I was
Yeah.
so impressed by that. She was not afraid. She got right in there and was working the farm, and she was another progeny of your farm.
Addie's one of those kids that she rode with me when she was like 6, 8 months old. In the big tractor, we'd strap her in a car seat on the little seat beside me, and she'd ride along with me for years. She did that, and I'd fill her head full of farming stuff. And it's really amazing how kids absorb information. But I tell people at 6 years old, she knew more about farming than a lot of men I know. And she was really, we did some videos on Facebook with her, and she was just amazing, and at what she learned and what she loves to do. I mean, she's got the blood in her. And one really cute anecdote about Addie is that she was 6 years old, and she looked at me one day and she said, "Papa, have you ever smelt the dirt?" And I looked at her and I thought, "Oh my God, I do that every year. How possibly could a 6-year-old
Wow.
think of that other than it's in her makeup, you know?"
Sure.
And
It's in her
so yeah,
DNA.
she's been running that big tractor for like 3 years since she was 10 or 11 and baling the straw. And now the other girls are going to learn. Darcy and Matt have 3 girls, and Shelby and Ty here on the farm. They just had their fourth little boy, and they have 1 girl and 3 boys. So, yeah, we're busy. Every year we have one of the kids, we label a field that's theirs, and and they get to go do videos on how we seed the crops and how we harvest them. And in the end, Papa and the grandchild go to the grain terminal and dump off some grain, and they get the check. So
That's great.
uh,
That's great. Well, you had a bumper crop this last year, didn't you?
yeah, we just finished a week ago. This year, I've been farming for roughly 54 years, and it's the biggest, most bountiful crop we've ever grown, and record yields. And the weather was phenomenal. We had like 36 days straight of it still hasn't rained, and farmers are finishing up, and so that's pretty sweet because we can have weather where we don't turn a wheel the month of September, and then we're fighting long nights and cold weather and snow and just trying to get the crop in before November. And boy, it can be, some days that are 28-hour days, and just trying to get the crop in before the winter hits. So it's quite a treat to go 35 days straight and get it all done.
Well, it's nice because you leave the farm behind to your family, and your son-in-laws are doing quite well running the farm, and the business is all together there with you.
Yep, we're pretty excited, and we're in a 5-year takeover with our two daughters, Darcy and Shelby, and their husbands, Matt and Ty. And so we're in the third year of that. So 2 years, and I guess I get the boot. But then I get paid to run tractors. So that's going to be
that's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get paid.
So we've it took 3 years to put this plan together in the transfer of the farm. And you build this thing from a 300-acre farm to a 2,000-acre farm, and all the big machinery to go with it, not at all thinking about what you're going to do with it when you need to quit. And so we're just very pleased, Lori and I, and very happy and at the transfer of to another generation. And I guess when you see Addie out baling straw and doing what she does, and the other kids are involved, there's probably going to be a fifth generation somewhere down the trail.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's pretty sweet.
Well, you have one daughter. It's kind of an outlier. I believe she's in Montana, and she's kind of traveled the world, and she seems to be a lot like you. And she told me quite a few stories about you. And
I'm really worried
I
about
didn't
this.
really realize you had such a singing career, and how you would sing in the mornings. And she still, I think she still recounts those, your singing. Can you
Well, I
tell
don't
us a little
know
more
that.
about that?
Well,
Something
I don't
about
know that any.
kitties and.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know where I got it. I whistle all day long every day, but I
But
do like to.
she kind of thought you made these songs up as you just kind of went along. You just kind
Yeah,
of,
no, I'm very good. I'm a very good composer. I've never had
yes.
anything, go on to vinyl or anything like that. But usually it's a song, and I change the words, and sometimes even speak in a different language that I don't know. So um, it's not a thrill at all. In most cases, it's an annoyance to most of the people in the house, and and they
Well,
don't know they don't
I,
know where the hell I made that one up at.
I think she's going to teach it to her youngest coming up.
Well, yeah, that could be. I think Callie's due in the next few days, so
Oh, that's
that's
an exciting
entirely
time.
possible.
That's great.
Yeah, we've had some fun times with all four of our daughters, and as they were growing up, and the antics and the things that happen in this house were always fun and always a giggle.
So as of today, how many grandchildren?
We have 8 today, and we have one more on the way in the next couple of days. It'll be 9. So pretty exciting, and just very prolific breeders. The Duncan girls are, and and I'm sure we'll have a couple more. So
Yeah, just like rabbits, I could see.
yeah, that's basically it. But yeah,
So, so what do you
go
look
ahead.
forward to as you're heading down to the desert here in a couple of
Well,
weeks?
it's funny, our trailer is, we got a new fifth wheel a couple of years ago. We finally sold that one that you wouldn't buy.
Yeah, that
Um,
was
I was really bothered about that, the way you
and
backed out on the wheel, but
that outdoor plumbing just kind of held my wife up.
yeah, well, the outhouse went with it. So I don't know what your problem was, but so yeah, our trailer's down there, and you really don't think about it all summer. and there's some weeds growing down there that need to get looked after. But so we you really don't think about it till October 1st hits, especially once you get harvest done. You're like, oh my God. When you come home in April, it's like 6-7 months before you go back. And
Sure.
now October hits and oh my God, we're leaving in a month. We usually go down November 1st. So yeah, it's now it's just a month of getting excited, of seeing all those wonderful friends that we spend the winter with and all the activities that go along with it. And it is absolutely a wonderful retirement and a wonderful life that I have the opportunity and Lori to farm here in the summer with our kids and grow crops like we've done for many years, and then we get to jump on an airplane and spend time with all these wonderful people from all over the States and Canada
Sure.
down there. So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
My understanding, you moved on the other side of the tracks this year. Is that my understanding?
I don't know how that's going to work out. We are moving in beside you, and so I really would like to take the fence down between us, and so that we can face our cots towards each other, and just have a really good close time. So,
oh, I'm sure you and Susan would enjoy that.
Yeah,
the kiddie pool in the middle.
Yeah, I'm not worried about keeping my blinds down because Susan is a nurse, so we're probably okay there. So,
yeah, that's a good one.
I've been scaring her with all the stuff I want to do, so I'm not. I don't think she's too excited about us moving in now.
Yes. Well, at the end of last season, we had a number of people say they're moving, and we were afraid that the Canadians were going to move out, and something about this U.S. president, but we won't get into that. It was just kind of a tough time to see, the friction, so to speak. But I think that's kind of settled down, don't you think? And people are looking better.
I think so, and it's just sad because there's some real wonderful people that really got their hair up and said we are not coming back, we're selling, and they did sell and are moving on. And my whole basis was that what, I'm not going to play a part of the political game, and I have so much fun down here and have such great wonderful friendships that's what I'm going to come down and do, and pay attention to that rather than the other stuff that gets everybody worked up. So
that's true. Every place has their issues, but we get along, and that's the most important part. And
it's
fun.
Like I said, the love and the friendship down there is just amazing, and so we really look forward to getting down there. So
my understanding, our sales are up positive in that regard. So it looks like we're going to have a full house. I'll be interviewing some of our realtors here in a couple of days, and
we
to their report.
Yeah, we still we have our old lot that we need to sell, and if it doesn't sell, I'm a little concerned we may be at your house quite a bit for meals because we'll be a little short of cash for food. So we're hoping that does sell.
Well, we are too.
I'm sure you are.
Well, now you have this circle of friends, these Canadian guys, and we hear a lot of farm stories going back and forth, and about your hockey and about your abilities of just being those outdoor sportsmen and bull riders and all that stuff. You guys are just tough people, and I don't know if we can really live up to your standards because your standards are so high.
Well,
I have to tip my hat to you.
In the great cold north, we need to be active in the winter. And of course, I was a hockey player, and I don't know if I've told you this story, but the Bentley Generals, that's my hometown, this cute little town of 600 people put together a hockey team. It was called the Bentley Generals, and we aspired to win the Allen Cup in Canada twice over the years. I wasn't part of those teams. That was in more recent years. I got old, so that didn't help. But anyways, the Allen Cup in Canada is next to the Stanley Cup. It's like 50 or 60 years old. So for a little town of Bentley to put together a team of farm boys, that's what it was hardworking oil field and farm boys. Brian Sutter kind of headed it up, and he was coaching, and Um, and yeah, so it was a great thing. But I do hold one of the longest standing records with the Bentley Generals that hasn't been broken yet. So I'd like to, point that out.
Well, yeah. Why don't you tell us about that? What's that? What
Well,
is that record?
I hold the record for having the most blood on my sweater than any other player on the team. So I, I'm not about to divulge whether it was mine or other people's, but that's kind of the record I hold. So
Well, I've always wondered about your wife, Lori. She's into this game of curling, and I never really understood curling. It looks like a good excuse to drink.
yeah, well, it's kind of like pickleball. It's a very social sport, and you get the game over with, and then you head to the lounge. So that's what we've always liked about it. And then, the friendships are all part of it. But the thing I get a kick out of is when we come down to California, and of course the World Championships are on, and Lori's glued to the TV. Well, we bring a bunch of California and Oregon people like you over to watch this curling, and I'll tell you, they're just looking at like this is the stupidest game that you would throw a 60-pound rock 120 feet down the ice and try and knock out the teammates. So the
Well,
other team.
quite the sweepers. I mean, you got to be pretty good on the broom.
Well, of course, it's an athletic event. It's
Yeah.
it's nothing like soccer or something like that. It's a hard working sport. So yeah, it's always fun. And actually, that leads me into the story of we have 4 pickleball courts in our barn that the dairy cows used to be in, and so we've had some major tournaments. But I think it was 2 years ago, no, 3 years ago, that we had a big tournament, and we invited everybody from ORPS up, from California and Washington and your neighborhood and Canada and a couple of the provinces. And so we had about 60, 70 people come up for was supposed to be 3-4 days of camping and pickleball. And it was a lot of fun. And we had pancake breakfasts and catered meals and happy hours. We had a lot of happy hours, but it was just a fun time, and it turned into a week because nobody wanted to go home. So, but the gist of that story is all the people from the states, primarily California and the western states, that come to the farm. And I don't know if they thought we lived in a little cabin, in the woods, and we had a milk cow named Bessie, out in the barn and stuff. But they come here, and they got to drive all the big tractors and combines and see all our crops, and the canola fields were bright yellow outside the shop, so everybody had to get their picture in the canola field. But they were absolutely amazed, and they were just like, oh my God, we had no idea this is what Duncan did when he went home to be a farmer.
Oh, that's
So
great.
so it was fun to show all those people what we do up here, and have some real fun games of pickleball. So
That's great. Well, where do you want to see? What do you want to see when you're down in the desert? What do you like to visit around the neighborhood, the area? What's what takes your attention?
you know, we when we first got settled there, and I think that was the big thing with me and the motorhome, is that we were going to go golfing in Texas and Alabama and Florida, and we were going to tour the states in this motorhome and just have a whole lot of fun. Found out I didn't like motorhoming, and that I needed a home. That was my biggest thing. So ORPS provided that with the trailer. That was our home, and we were going to branch off from there and do day trips, or 2 or 3 day trips, were as far as we wanted to go. And we've been there for now, I guess this will be our 12th year. And I think we ventured to Arizona once, and San Diego, and
I know
Disneyland up a
it's
bunch.
you enjoy
It's
the res. You just enjoy
Yeah,
being there with your
but you know
friends.
what? We're so busy at ORPS, we don't have
Yeah,
time to travel.
yeah.
And so we have not ventured very far from Palm Springs, but our days are just filled with activity and fun. And I tell people we giggle every day, all day long, and that is an honest, idea of what happens there. And I think I've even made you laugh a few times.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, we've had a chance at that, and it's been pretty good. It's we're not much for practical jokes, so you never know
yeah,
what's going to come around.
Yeah, there's lots of those go on. I think they toilet papered our new trailer 3 times,
Really? Who
and
did that?
well, that was some of those young ladies that tend to get into the wine a little heavy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to mention their names like
Oh, sure.
Christine or
Yeah,
Cynthia, any names
yeah.
like that. But um, they just tend to have a lot of fun, and they want to make sure that you're welcome, and we want to dress up your new trailer. And I think one day Randy remodeled his trailer and dropped his toilet off in our driveway, and so we come home from get grocery shopping. Here's a toilet in the driveway. Well, now who the hell would do that? So
Well, it's great for flowers, though, isn't it?
yeah, so I put a flower pot like he just dropped it off. He wanted to get rid of it. And so I put some flowers in it and put it out by the driveway with a for sale sign on it for $25. And some people wanted it, but before they could grab it, somebody come back and got the toilet.
Oh my goodness.
I guess they didn't want to see us profit from one of their pranks.
Yeah, they probably wanted indoor plumbing, which they didn't have before, I suppose. So that's good.
Well, and the pranks go on after the toilet paper incident. Lori and I got even. We went out one night and we took the police tape, the do not cross yellow tape, and we went to 3 or 4 of the instigators and we taped up their property. And while I was doing that, Lori was drawing, like the dead man on the cement, like they have in the crime shows on TV. And so we did that. And the next morning, one of the girls got a call from the manager saying, we understand you could be, or you're being harassed and are being bullied. So she said, hell no, that's just our friends playing tricks on us.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot to share when we get down there, but as you reflect back on this last year, you had a great harvest, and we're so glad you're bringing that bounty of harvest down and sharing it with all your friends, especially your neighbors. So we really look forward to that. And I know Lori is so excited as well to share that as well. So I won't say too much about it. And this is a friendly, family friendly podcast, so we won't.
Yeah, that's right.
We won't elaborate there, but it's all good. But I just have to say, it's been, in the short time you and I have met, it's been fun. It's been a great way to meet people. It's been a great way to share stories. It's been a great way to, I think, compare, both sides of the border, if you will. It's fun to see the spirit of Canadians, and I think I had probably one of my most fun events going and watching you guys watch a hockey game. I don't know much about hockey, but you guys just went nuts. It was fun and back forth, and I mean, it was almost like you guys were going to wrestle down on the middle of the street, and it's just a fun group of people. But we have had so much fun with the Canadian Brotherhood, so to speak.
Well, especially if it's a Canada US game,
US
then it's
team,
yeah. There's a lot of blood there that most of the guys there have played hockey. From Canada, that's what you do. I mean,
sure.
we played on ponds out behind the barn, when we were little, and outdoor rinks when it was 40 below and frost hanging all over your face and your eyelids. Your eyes get glued together with frost, and so that's what made the NHL with good, tough Canadian farm boy hockey players.
Yeah, that's great. Well, from your perspective, what have you noticed about us Americans down there? How did they receive you?
Oh, it has just been fun meeting all the people from the U.S. and the politics is a big issue down there, but I find the best thing to do is just keep quiet about it in the pool.
Sure.
Don't bring it up, because you'll have 10 on either side that are one of the 10 is gonna chew you up. So,
or maybe a wife or two too.
Yeah, that's right. And so I find the best thing is just be quiet and smile a lot. So
that works.
we got our own problems up here, so that we need to deal with. But the U.S. people, they warm my heart with the way they receive us down there and treat us, and it's just an amazing amazing friendship, and that's why when you look at the politics, it's an amazing friendship we have with your country.
Mhm, mhm.
And I mean, we're side by side, and we should be one great united country that that is, look after one another. So,
Yes.
and that's what our friends do down there. They look after us very well. In fact, too well, because they keep filling your damn glass at happy hour, and that never ends well for me. So,
Well, Dennis, it's been fun. I look forward to have you bringing that trophy down and seeing your possibly your name will be on engraved in that rich piece of history, and
yeah,
we'll see how you do. But thanks again for having me up to Canada, and we'll
yeah,
see you here in a couple weeks. We'll be down there, and I look forward to
yep.
seeing you then.
Yep, it'll be another fun time at winter camp, we call it. So
That's right. That's
we
right.
are like we are like a bunch of kids there. So
It's like
it's
letting kids out, for winter
that's right.
winter
Just a whole lot
vacation.
of yeah,
All
you
right.
betcha.
Thanks again.